What is up, everyone? Welcome to Max on Deck. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. I'm Osiris, Chewy's above me, and today our guest is Mr. C.Y.O Caps, aka Tyler Durdens. How you doing?
Hello. Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. We're in the quarantine times.
Yeah.
Days don't matter. Time doesn't matter, it feels like, but we're still here. We're going hard. We're talking about Keebs and Artisans. And we're having
the big topic today. Oof.
Big day in the Artisan community this past couple of days. I know you had quite a few caps that you were releasing. 420. I'm surprised at how popular 420 is for artisan makers to make caps.
Yeah, I think that like people kind of jump on any excuse to do like a themed sale, right? And that one's a pretty fun one. Although I suppose if I was going to suspect a sale would be big with artists, it'd probably be a substance-based one. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Quick shout to our sponsors, real quick though. We got mexondeck.dixiemech.com. Go pick up GMK Nautilus. I've only got about 8 days left, so about a little over a week. So be sure to go pick that up. Zap Cables, go get yourself a desk mat. He's got a bunch of cool desk mats in stock, as well as the best cables you will ever have and own, and as well as you can make some of these awesome cables as well. And making a cable is quite easy to do. Next up, switchmod.net/mexondeck for 4% off your lube needs and desires, as well as GMK Frost Witch coming up very soon on that.
Yeah, and then you've got Project Keyboard, mexondeck.project.link. Head on over there, pick up some extras of GMK Bingsu, as well as next month they will be running GMK Masterpiece, canonkeys.com/mexondeck. Get yourself some GMK Noel, some pink and blue, baby. It looks good. Check it out. And then Type Beast. Just go there, sign up for their newsletter, be on top of it. Cool stuff happening. Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, and then last up, kind of a temporary sponsorship at this time. The Rukia. Go pick yourself up a Rukia. At that link, use code MEXONDECK. It's an amazing board, amazing layout. I actually worked on mine today for a while. I'm trying to decide what switches I'm going to put in it as I am taking the Zycos out of it. And I think I'm going to wind up landing on creams just because creams.
Yeah, you are.
They're so good.
I'm such a cream shill.
Well, I've got creams for a build, but that board's not in yet. And I'm like, I don't want to touch those because I don't know how easy it is to get creams. And that board is like extra right now.
Creams are like the toilet paper of the keyboard community right now. It's so irritating.
100%.
Like I bought them when they were like the first round of them, and like I loved them. And I've put them that or like Creams Alps even, and like every board that I've built since. And then Nathan Kim talked about him on stream, or no, it was like the Verge article where they were like these super rare or whatever, and then you just can't get a hold of them. Like, god damn it.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is. I don't actually even own true creams. I have only Nolives, which are the I guess now are the even more limited creams variant.
Yeah.
But yeah, creams, they feel great. I have them in my Palm plate, so it's in my Palm Sirius, so it's palm on palm.
Nice.
But yeah, shout outs to Stale Dale for gifting a tier 1 sub to Kinnick, as well as to Sody Pops. And then Ellie Thompson, thank you for the Twitch Prime. And then Rick, thank you for the 9 bits. And Stale Dale, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it.
I think special shout out to Ellie. I think she's the one that he or she reached out to me like on Instagram and just had nice things. It was Ellie Thompson. Thank you. You reached out, said some nice things to us on Instagram about the quarantine. So, we're just hanging out with Mr. C.Y.O again. So shout out to you specifically. No, today made me realize though, when I was putting in different switches, that I was like, I'm pretty sure sound has surpassed feel at this point for me. Like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't care if it doesn't feel as good as something else. If it sounds better, I'm going to gravitate towards that. So,
I
yeah,
feel like in the community, there's like kind of a broad statement. There's exceptions to every broad statement. So like caveat that and get that out of the way. But like there's like a bell curve of like you first get in, and I was super guilty of it too, of like, holy fuck, Keebs. And then you're like RGB and like Afro of Artisans, and like I need all like the bumpiest, like weirdest boutique switches possible. And then at some point you like hit the max of all those things, and then you crest over the other side where it winds up being like daily driver choices.
Yep.
So you get rid of like you get away from like all of the eccentricities, and you go to like, I don't know, workable linears and 9009 or something.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you're just like, it's like everyone wants to just get as much as possible at the beginning, and you're like, I don't care. I just want it all. I just want everything. And
I
then
want it all, and I want it now.
yes.
But then,
but the now part never happens because you're in the keyboard community.
yeah, right. And then you just don't get it. But it's one of those things that you get all that stuff, and then you start to really kind of hone in on certain sets of products. And with Artisans, I feel like I'm in the stage of like, I just want everything. But I don't. That's why I try not to look. I try not to look at as much stuff because I'm like, I don't want to just spend all of my money. I just want to wait. Want to wait.
Yeah, I absolutely had to make a rule when collecting very quickly. So it was probably the worst rule I've made for myself in keeps. I might as well just keep buying everything. But I did only monochrome artisans to try to like create some sort of niche for myself in terms of like I'm not doing everything. And I think the only thing I have left at this point to collect are like some Gaff and Bro pieces that are like 1,000, 1,500 a piece, something bespokely insane. So.
It's just insane to me to think of like a single keycap being worth that much. And I know it's a piece of art and they're definitely incredible, but $1,000 is insane.
$1,000 can get you a group buy priced key cult, 60 or 65.
Yeah.
Nice,
it's funny though because
nice caps, like GMK caps and nice switches. So yeah, that perspective. So
it's funny though because if you like look at it from the collective like boutique art and display aspect, right, and then you compare that against other like artistic collecting communities, artisans are fairly cheap. Like you've got you've got some like Renaissance paintings or like sculptures or even some pop art like from like cocooning or like Warhol. Like I mean those pieces go hundreds of thousands, $500,000, few million. So yeah.
All perspective.
Even and the thing too is like even at retail, like from the artist, art is significantly more expensive. Sculptures and paintings are more expensive than artisans. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when people are like, you know, like the typical like when people come around to the community and they like get the initial sticker shock of like, oh my god, why is this shit so expensive? I could whatever. And it's like, all right, well, you figure like you're not just getting an artisan, right? You're getting like the time and investment that it took for that person to make that, plus the packaging, like the auth cards, generally the whatever, right? And you're getting like a limited run of that item, all for, you know, the cost of maybe a video game.
Yeah,
less than a video game now. But
Sody Pops brings up a funny. I don't want that sweatshirt at $65. And you're like, yeah, it's an artisan. You won't think twice of. I'm like, I won't buy a T-shirt above like $15.
Yeah,
but I've spent $500 on a keyboard before, so I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, artisans are like keep community Funkos. You know, everyone just like wants to collect them all and like put them on their desk, and luckily they take up way less space.
I love a good Funko, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs to Ella Mountain for the tier 1 sub. Cool Cows game for a couple different bits donations, 2 bits, 1 bit, 13 bits, and 10 bits. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. So we didn't get to ask you during Quarantine on Deck, but we typically start with our fast 4.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and roll into that. So the first ones will be your top 4 favorite Switches.
Creams, inks, vintage blacks, and I really like Milky House and Gat yellows.
So you love tactiles, is what you're trying to say. All about them.
That was actually like the first thing that I did when I got in. I was like the Max Brown on your KBD 75, and then I went to Zeal V1s, Zeal V2s, and then like those are fun to hot swap on your desk for like an hour while you're going through Reddit. They're not fun when you're spending hours in terminal or like writing papers, at least for me. So yeah.
It sounds like you would love Zycos.
Yeah.
So top 4 favorite key sets.
2048 for sure. I love that set so much. After that, AEK. I've got a lunar build that's got hunting these caps down is a pain in the ass. But I've got like the JP alphas on it. And then I've got somebody working on something special for this shift over here. But yeah, I mean, I wish they would come out with something that was like AEK profile. Feels really good. Then after that, the GMK monochrome, of course, and then probably
count it.
I don't know. I'm a pretty minimalist colorway person, so
I was about to say, it sounds like a colorful tactile board is your favorite.
yeah. Yeah, I really like spot colors, so I normally try to pick sets that I can do kind of whatever I want with, like artisan wise. So actually, I really like DSA Alchemy. I've got a board in there that has it on it. Unpopular opinion, inbound. I actually like DSA as a profile. I think it feels good. It sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
hey.
okay to be wrong. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'm just gonna log off now. So
yeah, cool. Well, thanks for having me.
I used to be more of a fan of DSA, but I don't know. It's hard for me to get into it now. I feel like I just spent so much time with GMK and just cherry profile in general that it's hard for me to move away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the colorway that that board or that key set did, but if I have to like no shit sit down and like I'm on a time crunch and I have to get things done and out and produced, I keep a board with alchemy on it specifically for that.
So is that your fastest 10 fast fingers time is with DSA Alchemy?
Yeah, probably. I actually I know the reason I type fucked up is because I spent most of my computing career, I suppose you could call it, on a laptop. So like from going to like the trackpad to the space bar, I do like I'm the index finger space bar heathen. So I guess typing on sets that are uniform profile that way are most comfortable for me. I don't type that fast, and I'm notorious for typos, but thank God Discord has that up arrow.
Right.
Click that, go fix that real quick.
I'm not a fast typer by any means.
Yeah.
The next up will be your top 4 favorite keyboards.
I'd say my favorite keyboard of all time so far is the KVD 8X Mark II. I traded a good friend of mine for it. It's got a brass plate brass weight. It's lined, got creams in it. Looks good, feels good, sounds good. Matches my Ocelot macro pad. So that would be my all-time. Like if I could only take one board with me, that would be it. After that, my Lunar. Right now, I'm typing on an all-black Time Founders Edition that I actually hated when I first got it, but I actually really like it now that I've swapped the switches in it and lined it a little bit. And from there, I've got like, it doesn't have switches on it right now. I've got this little like plastic case YD60 BLE travel board with blacks and a carbon fiber plate that for the money feels and sounds really, really good. So Chubies actually has been like, I don't know if you guys know who Chubies is, but he's been hounding me like to sell it. And
that might be the cheapest, not cheapest, but most inexpensive board in the top 4.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've got like, I painted it with like a hammered finish paint, and then like I lined the shit out of it with like sorbethane and with like foam, and these are like recycled blacks that I took out of an old cop board, like one of those, whatever those junk boards are that people were making fauxpas with. It's like a spare parts board that just worked out somehow. So
simple man.
Yeah.
In those, I mean, you get that appreciation of you put a lot of work into it and you got out of it what you put into it. Clearly. So
yeah.
Last but not least, top 4 favorite foods.
Tacos.
Can't go wrong.
No.
I've got a question for that after this. After the top 4, I've got a question for you.
Yeah. Tacos, Cliff Bars, coffee, and bourbon.
Sounds like a delightful meal. Cool Cow's game. Thank you again, by the way. You've been throwing. We've been noticing. Don't worry, but 10 bits, 8 bits, and 18 bits. Thank you.
What kind of bourbon before Chewy gets into his? What kind of bourbons are your favorite? Because I'm a whiskey guy as well.
I really like Suntory Toki.
Okay.
If I had to pick like a house bourbon or whiskey rather. It's for the money. Incredibly smooth. The Arctican turned me on to Suntory as a whole. Outside of that, I know I told you guys I'm in the military, so we get some pretty good deals up here in the Northeast by going to base to buy liquor, and I guess everyone's found out about this next one because I could only get the big bottle of it now. But Knob Creek small batch for the money is incredible. It's like $22 or $20 a fifth sometimes, like $40 for a handle. Yeah, it's great. So
definitely a good one. You can always get some good deals at the commissary on base.
Yes.
I know, because every time my dad was in the Army, every time they go to visit my grandparents in Georgia, they always go, and my dad's like, "Do you want something from base?"
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, fun fact, if you guys are trying to pick up electronics, games, TVs, stuff like that, definitely don't find a friend and have them go buy it for you. You shouldn't do that. Do not take advantage of the tax-free thing. That's all I'm saying. Don't.
We've got one person asking, can you repeat your travel board one more time?
Yeah, it is I think I got this case actually from Space Cat, and then it's a carbon fiber plate with MX blacks and a YD60 BLE PCB.
There it is.
And then it's lined with the foam that you get from KBD fans when they ship you stuff, and drawer liner.
There you go. Simple, resourceful. So I have a question. You mentioned tacos. I did a deep dive on your Instagram.
Oh boy, yeah.
And you did a 30-day taco challenge.
Right. Wow, yeah, you did do a deep dive. Okay.
Where you allegedly ate nothing but tacos for 30 days.
Yep.
Before we get into Artisans, I would like you to go into your experience eating nothing but tacos for 30 days.
My wife, like, I don't want to say she doesn't like tacos anymore, but she knows that if she doesn't pick something, it will be tacos. It's just something that is really diverse. You can throw pretty much any protein in it. I like going to the store and getting like salad bag kits. So you just like take a protein and then you get a salad bag kit, right? That's already themed, and you just
Mhm.
cook the meat real quick, whip up the salad bag, smash those together. Like
Taco.
Brilliant.
super good. Yeah, super good for you. Quick, easy. So
There you go.
So
Did
what
you, did
was
you did you finish it?
what?
The challenge.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still eat tacos all the time. That's like, yeah.
what was your favorite taco your favorite taco and your favorite taco spot in that 30 days?
Yeah, we bounced around a lot. Semi doxed myself, I guess. Annapolis in Maryland has Vita Taco for a while, which was decent, but then my buddy Super User put me on to a spot. I don't remember what it was called, but it's in Virginia. I think. Look, I can't remember actually where it was at in Virginia. I'm sure he's gonna. Yeah, Bar Taco. There you go. Phenomenal street tacos. And definitely soft shell corn tortillas as long as they're not soggy. I fucking hate soggy shells. I will actively never eat somewhere again if they give me soggy shells, which is why I've never been back to Vita Taco.
Dave, I
There
feel
it
like we
is.
need to do that taco challenge.
Taco challenge.
It'd be easy here in Texas.
It's not that undoable. Like I can eat a surprising amount of same meals every single day. I had the same breakfast Monday through Friday every day from August through whenever we got out for spring break and quarantine. Just overnight oats.
Back in the day when I was in training, they had something called mid rats, which is midnight rations. So I was on the night crew when I was in like initial entry training. This is like quite some time ago, and we would get out of training every night and go to eat. And I would always just have like a loaded omelet for like 6 months. That was my dinner. So yeah, I feel that.
CF Kaner is my coworker, and she's like, "Yep, you verify. Eat the same thing. I eat it at the exact
Yeah.
same time, and I down it." But real quick, guys, for those who don't know, I'll show these off. So this is what we are giving away today. This is the Mex on Deck Ambassador. There's only 8 of these. We have already given away some. For those who have not gotten them yet, that's because I'm holding them because of shipping. Hello, Blurry Chewy. And then this is the Castle Crashers Ambassador. There are 2 of these, and these are going to be given away each with a bear claw rar at the end of the stream. So, if you are the stipulations, we're going to be doing marbles, I believe.
we will be doing marbles.
We'll be doing marbles for the giveaway, and if you are international, we'll ask you to cover shipping above what it would ship for the states domestically.
Yeah.
And if you are international, we'll probably hold it for some time because these are not. We can't replace these, especially the Mex on Deck ones. So
I went through my B stock container, and I found some 420 blanks that I can throw down too.
well,
You guys
there
want
it
to keep it
is.
rolling? So
Keep the good times going.
Good times roll, baby.
So, you are an artisan maker. You talked about this on the quarantine show, but why don't you just one more time go back over how'd you get into? Let's start with the first question. How'd you get into keyboards, and then subsequently, how did you get into artisan making?
sure. So I originally, before I ever joined the military, I was a graphic designer and an art director, and then from there, I pivoted to cybersecurity. And suffice it to say, I've spent a lot of time just on computers. And at some point, you spend, you know, 10, 12, 15 hours a day on keyboard. It just starts to hurt your hands. So I was trying to find a solution that I could daily every day that would make that feel better. And of course, whenever I'm researching something outside of looking at Amazon reviews, a healthy Reddit subreddit is pretty much my second go-to for research. I know that like all subreddits have sort of a meta to them, but generally people know what they're talking about and they'll give you some pretty good opinions and feedback on it. So I found the subreddit, and from there, I think while like looking and going through things, I found Artisans, and I've spent a couple decades doing pretty much every studio discipline you can do. My undergraduate was in graphic design, and I did a minor in printmaking, which is like running traditional print presses. So I think about like your letter presses, like your stone lithography, your metal etchings, your screen printing, that stuff. I've done sculpture, photography, both digital and darkroom, um, woodworking, like painting, watercolor, ink, you name it. Anyway, so when I found out that you could put art on your keyboard, I was fairly hooked. Um, from there, Vito or Pupkeys, I think he invited some people in the DC meetup to come and check out his studio. And at the time, I was helping Max F with, I was doing or shooting like kind of a recap video of the DC meetup that I went to, which was 2 years back. And so like I took my camera gear there, and like the goal was to like get some footage of that for the DC meetup. And in the process of that, he showed me how to make caps. I actually have the first cap that I ever made with him, which was like one of these
Oh yeah, I've got one of those in
little red
purple.
guys. Yeah.
Got the hyperfuse version of that.
So yeah, he kind of gave me the initial rundown, and for a long time told me like, you know, use this resin, use a pressure pot for doing this. Like, here's how you like. He gave me my chops, right? And then from there, at some point, for a while I was streaming the process on Twitch of like sculpting and whatnot, and I think Ben stopped in one night, and so we got to chatting, and we like met up at some point, and we talked that day for like 4 hours, just about all kinds of shit about like color, the science of stuff, like all kinds of stuff. And then like the third really instrumental person that's been big in kind of my like casting career, I suppose you could call it, is Kasha Keys, who is like the only reason that I know how to do multi-shot work, because they're like, yeah, do it this way. I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So, and now we're here. Like, I guess the rest is history or whatever. Oh, and of course, Glyph, or Glenn the Black, is the man behind all of my convenience factors, whether that's my internal stuff or he's the big brain behind making the encoder knob Artisan that we did. I really wanted to be the first person to do something, and encoder Artisan knobs came up when UPass was first running the Satisfaction 75. We kind of like met up and went through it and thought that would be a really fun thing to do. So yeah, suffice it to say, just kind of like everything in this community, it was not just me getting curious and spending a lot of nights fucking stuff up to learn. There's a lot of people that had a hand in like sharing knowledge and kind of communal helping each other and that kind of stuff. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention those folks and shout them out, because I would not be here without them.
It's crazy history.
Yeah.
Lots of people involved helping out. Sounds like you're pretty artistic just in general.
Yeah, I keep busy. I helped Top Clack do their like stream re-theme. Currently, right now, I'm working on like a little cybersecurity pocket guide. I've got some other things going on in the background. It's a nice balance to like army and cyber, right? To step away from the computer and create and make something that has nothing to do with ones and zeros and bandwidth and pixels and anything like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so you've got well, I kind of want to do a deep dive into each of your artisans. So you've started off very different. Started off with a lot of different molds. I know you had a story about each animal and why you picked them. And then you've kind of moved into I'm going blank on the guy's name. The guy with the mask. Um, the like jet pilot because you've got the Yeti Owl.
Oh yeah, the packet pilot.
Packet pilot. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got the Yeti Owl, you've got Packet Pilot, and now the Ambassador V3.
Yep.
3. Yeah. So really digging the like armor version of the V3. But I guess those are your 3 more popular ones. We'll get into the newest one coming up here in a minute. But how did you get into making those 3 that seem to have been the mainstays and seem to be the ones that people kind of go after?
Sure. So when I sat down with Binge, I think a really instrumental question that he asked me was, what do you want to do with this? Like you can, of course, like anybody can sit down and eventually learn to make artisans and like have sales and sell them. But like, what are you going to do different? What are you offering? And for me, a big thing was I wanted to offer people experiences. Like I wanted the cap to be the least important part of this experience for people. So CYO actually stands for Choose Your Own. It's after Choose Your Own Adventure books. This is a book that my dad used to read to me when I was little. So I still have it.
I
Yeah.
that book
From
elementary school.
Yeah. So like that, I took my name from that, and I really liked the concept of like whether it's artisans or keyboards or like in life, right? You choose your own, like you choose your own path, you choose your own adventure, you choose your own level of involvement. Like it is what you put into it, right? And I really wanted to carry the spirit of that into artisans. So the first 3 that I came out with were instinct, memory, and network, which was the instinct was the rhino, memory was the elephant sculpt, and network was the gorilla sculpt. And the idea behind those was that there are some innate qualities that humans have that like technology or AI or like robots will never have. Yes, they'll have synthetic memory, but generally for humans, memory is comprised of experiences that we reflect on, right? And um, synthetically, an AI could have an experience, but it'll never have like the sensory feeling of an experience that humans will. The same with networking, right? Like you can network devices together, but socially, computers won't degrade without the lack of like a social network, right? Like they will operate unto themselves, like ad infinitum until they break down. But like humans will critically fail if we don't have some level of social interactions. And the same with instincts, right? Like computers are programmed to do things, but like to have instincts is just like this innate, ephemeral feeling that humans seem to be aware of. So that's kind of where it started, was giving people these broader lore-based concepts to hopefully like gather and read and talk about when they were collecting things, which is, suffice it to say, something I've tried to carry forward in the artisans that I've done today, is to give people some sort of idea or concept to discuss. Really, I wanted an artisan to be a vessel for people to come together, and sure, they might be like buying or collecting them or doing whatever, but if you get a bunch of artisan collectors in the room, it quickly doesn't become like I have this cap, it's wow, that's a really cool cap, and then it's like the person's like, yeah, this is the story behind getting it, right? And like that's what people really get jazzed about. If you get a bunch of like big box folks in the room, they'll talk all day about like the story behind getting caps or why they chased, or like especially the ones that took them forever to get, like those are the ones that they're really psyched about. So I really wanted to give people something to talk about, right? And the caps that I started with admittedly had some clearance issues, which is why I navigated away from them and like I redid everything. But those were kind of like my stepping stone caps to kind of learn the craft and really develop those skill sets. And then from there, I took all the things that I liked that was working and carried those forward into the ones that I'm making today and trying to put out. So continuing to give people these bigger, deeper, hopefully, ideas to kind of share and talk about. And my hope is that the caps are really just a vessel for people to have those kinds of interactions. Because at the end of the day, and to answer Ben's question, what I wanted to do was give people experiences, right? I wanted to give them their own adventures that they could choose with these caps. So
Absolutely. And then, so I did a little bit of a deep dive on the Instagram as well, and I noticed that one of your first sales was you did the golden memory set, the puzzle. Can you tell us a little bit about that, what that happened? Because that was before I think either Chewy and I really were into C.Y.O or really artisans in general, so we're not quite familiar with what that was and what that whole process is.
Yeah, so that was again an attempt to give people an experience, right? And what really gets me like jazzed at the day is the stuff that like I like working with people on collabs. So like Quarantined on Deck, right? Or like the Encoder Artisan, or doing some sort of something that's new ground, right? And that was something that I wanted to do, was give people a puzzle to work on together, right? So in doing this, people would win these golden memories, and they all came with a puzzle that a certain number of people had to come together to solve. So like I made a channel in my Discord that these winners could like jump into, and each one of them had a piece of the code. So none of them were ever going to be able to solve this unto themselves. They absolutely needed each other. And then they like got together and started like pasting each other's pieces of like what they had and like trying to figure it out. And I think the coolest part to me, the part that I like really enjoyed the most, was like people learned some things from it, like that they did not know before, right? Which was like basically encoding and some other skill sets that they could take with them forever. I think like the coolest thing that like people could do, right, is learn things, because you could never take that from somebody. Like once somebody has learned something, like it is there, right? And that was kind of like my attempt at toying with different ways to give people like experiences and things that they could do that were like far and away from the caps themselves. So
yeah, it's an awesome little thing. It's like an awesome little thing to add on to the beautiful artisan that you get with it, is also this entire experience where maybe you're learning something, you're interacting with other people in the community and developing relationships. So it's awesome for something like that to happen from, you know, from what other people would maybe consider silly. It's just cool to be able to develop that entire train off of that one little product.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I should get back to. It was a simpler, it was relatively simple in that people who weren't familiar with those skill sets, it was still accessible to them. But it was something that like it was a test to see what the appetite was for even do people even give a shit? Are they even going to care and like do this at all, right? So yeah, now that you mentioned it, that's definitely something that I should probably bring back and develop further. So we've got plenty of time, right? Like
right?
We've got nothing.
All the time in the world.
You know. So yeah.
So how did the Yeti Owl arise? We haven't seen, and are we going to see more Yeti Owl soon?
The Yeti Owl is the bane of my existence in so many ways. Like, yeah. Hey, Dexter's. I assume we'll get to that at some point. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. Yeah. So that came up when I used to stream sculpting artisans. One night, I just let chat tell me what to do. I was like, I started with it's like a blank slate, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put eyes on this thing, and then you guys tell me what to do. And people are like, do claws, do ram horns, like add a beak, like make it part owl, like do this, do that, and like 8 hours later, it wound up being the Yeti Owl. And we joked at some point that it was going to wind up being like the most hotly requested thing right? Like just this misfit, ramshackle, like chat-driven, random artisan, and it's people won't stop asking me about it, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that like it definitely wound up becoming the thing that people are like, yeah, the Bear 3 is cool. So Yeti on next sale, like so the thing with the Yeti owl is it's got a thin spot in the if you're looking at it like front forward on the left, no, right claw at the base of like the knuckle portion of the claws, and it's only there in a couple of the molds. And I forget about it because I cast it so infrequently that every time I make it, I never remember to identify which molds have that problem. And I have fixed that 4 times and made new molds. And I can't seem to make it thick enough in the right spots yet. So I just keep like putting it like aside. But yeah, that's why I don't make it that often. I had the same problem with the new High on Fi that's coming out. There was a thin spot near one of like the earpieces of the headphone where the joint fit his face, and I think I made 4 rounds of that mold before I just stopped for a while. Like this is getting nuts, like because it's like a thin line between like I need to figure out a way to add more clay without making it look like you added more clay, right? Because at some point you've got to repair this sculpt without trying to add a bunch of mass. But I don't want to make a structurally weak piece, especially if you have something that like I don't know if people like how many people are using these on LEDs or not, and you'll definitely like see holes or thin spots when you put it on an LED. So I won't put them out yet until it's fixed, but.
Yeah, I love it. I love
I'm
the
just
Yeti owl.
scrolling down. I'm like, man, there really are not that many Yeti owls.
No, I did not do many. I basically like make a set and comes out successfully. Like that's what's available.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, there you go. And then Mr. I'm sorry, I've already forgotten the name because I'm trying to look it up, but the guy with his tongue out, Mr. Michael Jordan.
Yeah, the Packet Pilot.
Packet Pilot.
Pilot. Man, I'll never remember the name. So how did because the Packet Pilot seems to have been one that took one of the biggest overhauls in going from like version 1 to version 2.
Yeah, so the problem with that, this is going to be a bit controversial, right? So like hot take inbound, but there's a lot of I feel really bad for new artisans that are getting into this community right now because there is such a fucking high bar to entry for expectations, right? You need like clean butts with like maker's marks on side of the internal that no one ever sees, and like all of these I don't want to call them surface, right? But they're very aesthetic based expectations, like off cards and packaging and like the unbox experience and all of these things that like unless you're like ETF, right, or maybe GAF, like one of those two like major hot commodity like stellar, like your fundamentals are so fucking good that like that's all you need. There's so many things that people have to come together to kind of learn and develop and get squared away before they can say like successfully that like I'm here as a maker, right? And I'm charging $60 a cap. So often what winds up happening is that people will like, what are you going to do with 30 caps? I don't know. Normally people have sales, right? Because like resin costs, pigments cost, like a pressure pot, all of this stuff costs. So you sell them cheaper, right? Which was what I as well did. I had cloth cards and stickers and all the other stuff, but admittedly those earlier pieces had some deficiencies, namely clearance issues. Depending on what row profile you used, what cap profile you're using, if they were next to other artisans or not, and which artisans they would rub. Which is why I do not make them anymore. But I did a whole revision on the Packet Pilot because of that. Right, Packet Pilot 1 had it was a bit too wide, and that was the biggest, toughest Dexter's Here You Go learning lesson in making artisans, was learning to sculpt that small and stay in a 0.725-735 square area. Initially, when I met up with Binge, he gave me like one of like these old school like iteration synths to work on, and then from there, he actually like had these posts on these synths so that way you could have something to hold on to and like not hit when you were like using tools. But admittedly, they caused some blind spots for sculpting to work on. So from there, I started making my own out of foam core and sandpaper, and sculpting on those to size, which is how I started getting kind of more intricate sculpts, but being able to stay like admittedly inside the realm of that one like safe 1U surface area, right? And then from there, I got in touch with Glenn or Glyph, and he made these 3D printed internals that you use to do mold making with like these registration mark points. And then from there, I pretty much exclusively sculpt on these now. So I'll make like a back version, right? I'll fill one of these back molds, and then I'll cut off the extra, and I'll have just a plastic rough stem, and then I'll mount that onto here, and then that'll give me something stable for the clay to hold on to. And then from there, I'll make these sculpts, right? And then from there, you make master molds, which are finished versions that you're going to make your casting molds off of. So generally, you'll iterate through your sculpts or your initial casting a time or two to get the level of detail, the finish quality, all of those things in place before you'll move on to making what's known as masters and master molds, which are your masters are what a bunch of final finish quality ready versions that you will then make your molds from, and your molds are what you're going to production with, right? So it's probably a long-winded version of the answer.
I'm learning
Yeah.
the crap.
So just to kind of mix a couple of the questions that we've had, is there any good resources for people or websites or advice that you have for someone who's starting out? Like, what should they go pick up? What websites should they use to get more information on how to do everything, how to get started into trying to maybe, make some artisans for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So my biggest suggestion is that, to be honest, getting into artisans is crowded and expensive right now. I think any given week you can go to Mech Market and look at the top trending posts, and it's like square brackets artisan, like whatever raffle sale. There's been an explosion of people making artisans now, which isn't a bad thing. It's just to say that like you need to come with something that's going to set you apart. And in doing that, you can develop, I would say, 90% of the skill sets that you need without buying 90% of the gear that you need to make high quality pieces. So namely, you can learn to sculpt in the dimensions that you need, like just like I did, right? Like this is $3 worth of foam core, and I think that I cut a square base, and then I cut like a 7.725 square pieces, and then did the same thing with sandpaper and glued that onto this base, right? And like this is what I sculpted on for a long time. Clay would grip to it. Like you can learn to sculpt in the 1U dimensions that you need, and you can make and cast Artisans without a pressure pot. The only thing the pressure pot is going to do for you is it's going to pop a bunch of the bubbles inside and on the surface of the cap. And there are some things that you can do that are outside, I guess, the scope of this micro explanation. But suffice it to say that you don't need that to learn if this is something that you want to do long term, right? I would say the initial investment to really get up and running is somewhere around $2.5 grand, depending on like how hard you want to come out of the gate. And most of that is in like your supplies, your pressure pot, your like compressor, like et cetera, a bunch of that startup stuff. And before you buy all that, you can really test the waters to see like, is this something that I even care about doing iteratively long term, right? And places you can go are there's a channel in the like Reddit based server. If you want internals, I would definitely hit up Glenn. That dude is a fucking wizard when it comes to internals. He designed like the inside of my my caps based off of my logo, which we hadn't been really done before. Like people normally stick to like the like tapered square shape, and he took like that D20 thing and like ran with it and like put that inside and did all of this stuff with it. And he works with a lot of vendors to do that stuff. Yeah, you could do a lot of that stuff without doing a heavy investment. Feel free to hit me up. I mean, I have a Discord. My please don't hit me over Instagram DMs. I will give you the shortest answer possible in an Instagram DM because I fucking hate phone keyboards. Like I hate that shit. So like you will get way more info and shit than you ever wanted in a Discord DM. If you hit me up on Instagram, I'll be like, sure, check out this page.
Ellie Thompson. That's literally what I was doing for the last like 5 minutes. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was tempted the whole time. I was tempted to go get the.
I can show it off. I mean, for those, let me see if I can get enough light. Like a little.
Yeah, let me grab my sticker box. Actually, can show you guys like a larger version of the logo, and I can grab the back of one.
Oh, dude, no, you're good. I got it right here.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's on my shill jug.
Yeah.
So logo and internal.
Yeah. Which is cool because like I think the whole idea behind that, right, like a D20 was like going back to the Dungeons and Dragons choose your own adventure book based aspect of things, of like rolling and choosing your own adventure, right? And like hanging out with people about like you're right, like hanging out with people about something.
Literally arms reach twice a week.
So yeah. But yeah. It's something that like making Artisans was something that I don't think I ever thought about would blow up or be something like I seriously did long term. And the amount of fucking like brilliant, impressive, like just like breathtaking people that I've met as a result is like by and far what has kept me like around and in this community. And like I talk a lot actually with Glenn about stuff. I bounce a lot of things off of him, and he and I talked about like I do harbor some like resentment or guilt with making caps because there's like other things that I don't really invest as much time in as I'd like to, right? Like some of my other pet projects, and there's just something about making caps that's just fun and addictive, and like I get burned out, I walk away from it for a while, and then something like Quarantined on Deck comes up, and like it's just an amazing experience. Like the shit I can do, and like I can help people with these caps, or like I can send people shit that like makes them have a better, like you could be having the worst fucking day ever and you could get like an art and like that shit turns around for you, right? Or you know, you get something in the mail that just like makes you smile, and like that's, especially right now, like in a hard time, that's a lot for people, and that's what I really love about it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So next up, of the Artisans. The one that I like so much, the one that I have the most of. I think I have 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm almost to 10 bears.
Okay. Okay.
Getting close to an Afro.
Yeah.
So the Ambassador, I would say probably is your most popular, at least based on just what you sell. So how did the Ambassador come to be? And you've made some pretty significant changes, and I think they're changes that are minimal, but also really improve the cap.
Yeah.
So how did the Ambassador come along?
So
And we do have what is the chin. We have people asking about that. You can leave that to the end, or you can keep that a secret. I kind of like the fact that it's a secret, but Cool Cow Games did ask earlier, what's the thing in the bear's mouth, or is it the chin, or is it the beard?
So it's a beard. It's absolutely a beard. And if you look at some of I did some like tuft hair on the top, and I wanted to carry that forward. And I thought like him having like some like little gestural goatee thing going on would be a fun addition to like this like fucking grumpy bear. But people often think he's blepping, and that's fine. Like that's cool. I don't mind.
Well, you get the ones where the tongue is a different color.
Yeah.
Or it's just not the rest of the fur.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll get to that in a second. Making a very dynamically castable piece. But to answer your original question, it came about because my wife often refers to me as just kind of like a silently humping bear. Like I'm fairly verbose when I get to talking about art, but in a lot of other aspects of things, I'm kind of a little bit quieter about stuff. And I really like bears because there's something that, and this is in the lore story too, they kind of transcend cultures and time periods and all kinds of. Most continents, cultures, people have something that harkens back to a bear, and you're able to, just like in the lore story, explore the fact that like people have different takes on what that means, and you can talk to people about like in Eastern culture versus Nordic culture versus Western culture versus like Southern culture, all the bears mean something different. And I think that's really impactful to be able to consider that like people will have something that like transcends boundaries, right? Like you can take people's different perspectives on things. However, I think that like the earlier versions of the sculpt didn't have as much dynamism in like visual appeal as I wanted. And it wasn't until I worked with Crash, who is a fucking gifted illustrator, that I really like pulled the final form out of what I wanted this to be. When I kind of told him that like I really like the idea of this being like a supreme hype beast mask that this guy is wearing, right? And like you can like the idea that like this guy is like hot swapping things based off of how he feels, and like, you know, like colorways or whatever, like that was like so interesting to me to be able to parallel like the different masks and faces and facades that we put on based on like how we feel or like what we feel like talking about, or like how we relate to people on any given day. So he showed me this it's a bunch of like all my stickers and stuff now, but like he showed me this illustration that he did, character based, that we're working on now for like the rest of my sculpts moving forward. But like I think it's really interesting to give people like a character and a background to get invested in with these sculpts as much as the sculpts themselves, right? So from there I like went back and I was like, I have to redo this. And like if you look at like favorite artisan of all time is Gaff's Grim V2, right? And like the level of detail and shit you can do like with this sculpt is in fucking insane.
So much going on.
I guess this Logitech camera isn't good. Anyway, if you look up Gas Grim V2, you can see that like based on the colorway, you can do different like opacities and transparencies and pull different effects. The cap has layers, it's got details, it's got great dynamism as it comes to the weight of different parts of the sculpt. It's got interesting details in the round. So as you look at the sculpt and turn it around, you'll pull different details out of different sides of the cap based on where you're looking, based on what color it is. Like if you look at the all black one that he did, you look at the carbon colorway one, and then you look at the fictitious Grim V2, which is the all white black one he did. Like those all read incredibly different, and like that's right now that's what I'm kind of like pushing and struggling to find how to sculpt and do is that level of like variance and dynamism and return on sculpt investment, right? That level of prestige, I think, like combined with ETF's ability to reinvent shit that no one thinks about. Like Poison's, like the last Poison Summer set of blanks was, in my opinion, some of the craziest shit I've ever seen with nothing. And by nothing, I mean like you're just taking a blank, like not even a semi-sculpted blank, like a Death Caps, Bad Luck, or Valor Taco's like Sick New Blessed, or like things that are like a blank with a shape on it, right? Like just a blank and reinventing it every week. What the fuck? Like that's crazy, you know? And like that's the kind of stuff I think at this point that I'm really trying to find ways to do.
Yeah. And speaking of blanks, so that's something that we've seen you do a lot more of recently. Can you talk a little bit about the different ones that you've done, including the claws and on all the different, just, you know, as you said, the almost nothing blanks where you're just messing around with the colors and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like a trend right now is definitely blanks, people doing blanks with a little something extra. And I think that harkens to those folks that really like daily driver pieces, things that are utilitarian in nature, especially the folks that might be utilizing like something smaller than TKL 65%, like FC 660, like Artisan section, right?
Yeah.
Like when you have space on a board, I think people care more and more and more about like long-term usability and convenience, and that's definitely been a trend, I think, in Artisans, and one that I wanted to explore, but one that I wanted to do with kind of some incentive. So I didn't want to really upcharge people or like charge for a separate cap as much as incentivize people to just pay their invoices on time. So I think the thing that like I hate the most about being a maker is like, okay, you've got like 6 hours to pay your invoices, and like 7 hours later, like I'm hitting up without fail every time one person to be like, hey, you got like 10 minutes or I'm re-raffling every time. So at some point I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like incentivize people to like rush this shit. So like, okay, you will get bear claws if you are the first to pay your invoice. And like, that was
Sure
a cool way.
A couple extra.
Yeah, you know, like that was a cool way for me to like give people something more for relatively the same cost, with no skin to me, right? Because in making caps, it's kind of like making cupcakes in a way, right? Like it takes pretty much the same amount of time to make a batch of cupcakes as it does one. I've already got the color mix. I'm already doing a lot of that stuff, so I normally do a round of blanks with stuff, right? Just because. So.
Well, it's kind of like, why waste some of that stuff too? Because if you're not done with the colors, then
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs to Clavier, Frothy KK, us, and Disco Crocodile for the tier 1 subs. Appreciate it, y'all.
and I think we got a donation.
We did earlier. It was Stale Dale. Shout out to Tyler, the ultimate homie.
I love you guys. Yep, Langolandia brought up an interesting point. He and I worked for a long time on a coffee-based artisan. I think I went through 4 iterations of caps for him. One being like this, like Coffee King or whatever. Anyway, suffice it to say, I know, but Langolani is the fucking homie.
And the other fucking homie is Owane.
Yeah.
For 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much, Mr. Or Owane. I want A. And then Upas. Good Lord. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the other homies. I've never had a bad conversation with I, and UPass is probably one of the funnest people that I've worked with to do a collaboration outside of Project Keyboard, who sent me RAL chips. That shit was gangster. I wish everyone that asked me to do a key set collab sent me RAL chips.
That'd be dope.
Disco Crocodile. Yeah. Great name, by the way.
Dude, he's a good dude. Both Brian from Top Clock and I, we hosted him last night after our build stream, and yeah, he's a good dude. Great looking stream, by the way.
Yo, I was going to bed after your stream, and I stayed up until like 2 or 3 a.m. with him.
Yeah. It's cool, dude. Chill stream.
So one thing I am curious, maybe this is a request, maybe, I don't know how many people would love. I want to see more row 4 artisans. Like a blank on the bottom row for that, because a lot of the popular 60% is going to have a short right shift with a function key. And you seem like the kind of guy that can get that done. But like,
yeah, absolutely,
it's one of those like that function key. You know, I mean, for those who don't know what I'm talking about right here.
Yep.
This function key,
the split
I feel
shift.
like has so much room for artisan capability.
So like, you want it profile matching, or
yeah, because like that can be a little goofy with some of the blanks, but just right there, because like 60% are already kind of hard to throw artisans on. I mean, it's not physically hard. It's just
there's not a lot of like real estate usability wise, sure.
Yeah, like because
I've got keys.
I've got the artisans I have on my board right now are on my Austin. It's top right. It's a full size board, so I just throw them on the top. That's my media plays, and so you know with 60%, it's kind of harder. It's like start distracting from the keycap set and all of that. But I was like, a blank
you're doing like an OD Green Baka win. So you you got a premium, right? Like,
yeah. I don't have the OD Green one.
Yeah.
I just designed it. All right.
Sure.
No big deal. Yep, there it is. My Baka is right. Is it visible? There it is. Boom.
Nice. Yeah.
Sodi did send. I haven't given the one to Osiris, but we were actually very graciously given some of the quarantine ones. Whoop, stuff's falling out now.
Did Sodi Caps like story ever make it out about what that color? That was the coolest shit to me.
I have no. This is all. I'm about to show it off. I haven't given it to Osiris simply because
we haven't seen it.
I haven't seen each other. So this is. I'm just reading the card. Jams in the Peacekeeper colorway.
Yeah, this shit was so cool. So like, I think we talked about this a little bit on Quarantine on Deck, the channel that we were all collaborating in to do this. And oh yeah, Sodi, I'm gonna tell it. It's fucking cool. And I think Chad mentioned that there was a bit of like a back and forth when people started seeing each other's cap examples about like people trying to like take different perspectives or different pass on stuff. And initially, I was the first one to post just because I was trying to propose people getting involved, and like my take on it was going with the COVID cell protein based theme colorway. And Sodi Caps like posted these jams that were like not at all that colorway, and then they posted the story behind it. It's the white blood cells that fight like the COVID infection. That's the colorway. Like, what a fucking rad take on the cap.
Next
like,
level.
Yeah, and like so humble to just be like, If you get it, you get it.
Awesome.
That's it was so thank you again, C.Y O Caps. We were and Cyrus and I were talking. It was we for those wondering, we didn't ask for any. Honestly, CYO set up 90% of
Yeah,
this.
we did like almost.
We
nothing.
did like we posted a few Instagram things, and like I posted a few things on Instagram, and Eric made sure that the scenes looked good. and then we just hit start. Like we didn't do much. That was all CYO. So again, thank you, because that
Shout out
was
to
such
you.
a fun night, such a memorable night. And we didn't like go, hey, if you're going to be on our show, you have to give us anything. But Sodi was very gracious to give us. Although 100% full disclosure, I tried to get Tyler to give me one. I tried because I loved the bear, but he's a good man and only made sure that they went to people that deserve them. but no, Sodi actually sent us one. It was cool. I was like, oh, we actually like. It's very cool that we get to have something to remember that night now. So like we get that little extra token of funness. So thank you, C.Y O Caps. If you haven't checked out her stuff, check out her stuff as well.
Absolutely. So I have a couple questions. One of my favorite, I guess, colorways that you've done, at least so far this year, has been the disposable income caps.
Yeah.
So is that actual money? Like cut up real money?
Isn't that technically illegal?
No, I bought it from a reserve.
Oh.
They shred it for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you went next level. And you're like, I'm gonna go through making sure I don't technically break the law.
Yep.
Yeah. How did that come about? Like,
I just like the fucking meta communication of like a disposable income colorway that people seem to have with all of their disposable income. Like just literally, this is what we're doing, right? And I guess that kind of like speaks to a little bit. Like I felt for a while I had some harbor guilt about having any kind of sales right now because like it's a hard time for people, and I don't want to put stuff out there when people are having a difficult time. And for a while I didn't have any sales, and then like I saw like group buys were still happening, like other artisans were still having sales, and like there's definitely the disposable income in this community to sustain that. And I don't want to say that like no one was affected, but it seemed like by and large it wasn't an uncouth thing to do. And so like I did start having like a couple sales right now, but I really just liked the just literal like shredding money.
It's an awesome looking cap. It looks so cool. It looks so cool, and it's unique. I've never seen someone do something like that. I've seen people put things in caps. We've had the prime caps, the teeth caps.
Yeah,
that one was. I still can't believe that they did that, and then apparently people kept offering to send them teeth. Like people kept being like, "Let me mail you my teeth."
I think what like Matt or Jacob Smears really capitalized on is the meta. People fucking love meta. Like the weirder, more like obtuse, just because I can factor, people eat that shit up. Like
I've been telling Prime, I'm like, man, we need to make some chewy caps. I'll just shave a chunk of my beard off and we'll throw them in there. And
I will 100%. I've already cast it for like bring it.
I do. I've got your shipping address.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, you do.
If you get a weird
bag
message with a bag of beard hair, you know what to do.
One of the like the humblest projects that I took on was for a buddy of mine. I hope they don't mind me saying so, but they had a pet that passed, and they asked me to memorialize that with. They took some of the hair from that pet and gave it to me, and like I created some like really bespoke blanks for that purpose. So, which is why I say that like I've casted hair, but it's not.
Well, I'll be doing that too. with the
Yeah.
dogs, because now I'm like about to cry because I'm
Yeah.
like, that's the
Yeah,
best
that's
way.
awesome.
I can't not do that now.
Good night, Upas. You have a good night, man.
Upas. Go check
You,
out
brother.
GMK's GMK Noel. So High on Fi is the new one. I forgot what I sent you a suggestion on the names. I couldn't remember what I said though, because it wasn't that good. But High on Fi is your new upcoming mold. Is that what I guess mold or just I guess resin cat, just your newest artisan. So you've talked about some before, but why don't you go into? I know I'm very hyped for it. So maybe if you have anything to show off, that'd be dope.
Sure. Yeah.
He's like, wait, no, I don't.
Wait, no, I don't.
It's okay,
Never mind.
it's okay.
Let's
No,
move
I'm
on.
actually pulling up what I sent you to read off. Yeah, give me like half a second. I can grab. I have a bunch of masters actually sitting in here, so people have some sort of context of
lo-fi lad. Yes.
what I'm doing right now. I'm going over to this bookshelf on the right to pull a bunch of masters. But if anyone's curious, that's what the studio looks like. 1 second.
It's a dope looking studio.
Yeah, that's an awesome little studio.
You can't go wrong with the L-shaped desk.
Dude. More
Can't go wrong with
space.
it. That's like I recently added a third monitor over here, and you know I kind of have to punch it a few times to get it to work properly and turn it on and off a bunch of times. But it's been fantastic on the triple monitor light. I just have to get a mic because my mic is far away now.
Yeah.
And then shipping takes like 3 weeks now on everything.
Yeah, Amazon said that they weren't like going to be. I mean, I assume you're using Amazon because not getting 2 days, and I don't need. Then, like they're like, yeah, we're not going to be accepting anything that isn't mission essential for people. So I've been getting like shipping estimates for stuff that's like in the middle of July, and then it shows up like next week.
It's just, I think it's just like you'll
Sweet.
get it when you get it.
Yeah.
Which the only thing that I'm annoyed with is I'm like, I pay Prime yearly, but if I paid monthly, I just wouldn't be paying for it right now.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
Absolutely.
But end of the day, it's cheaper yearly. So, but anyway,
Yes.
High on Fi.
Yeah. So this is the current. Probably not going to get any fucking focus out of this. This is the current status of the cap. I'm making masters currently. Sorry, I don't have a sweet DSLR like you guys do to do all of this stuff. But essentially, the idea that a buddy of mine, Popeye, got me into like the higher, like hi-fi audio life, and I was really inspired by that and the places that like music and audio take people. So I thought it would be cool to do a cap that kind of communicates the ability for like music and shared taste to transport people. So I've got like a lore story worked out. So I guess I can, if you guys don't mind, it's like a paragraph.
The floor is yours, man.
Go ahead.
Leak that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So like high fidelity, the pursuit of audio that is reproduced as faithfully and accurate to the recording as possible. Being high on fidelity takes this concept a step further with the place that a hi-fi listening experience can transport us to. Music already has the innate quality of transcending all boundaries and borders, being universally felt, shared, and beloved by an audience. Music also serves as a sensory anchor to feelings, emotions, and moments in time that allow us to bond together in common shared adoration. Hi-fi affords us the ability to experience these shared moments at a breadth and depth that is truly bespoke. With its crystal clear highs, tonally balanced lush mids, and ear-massaging bass, the expansive sound stage that hi-fi brings to a listening experience transports us to a place in time and a memory that we associate most with that track. The purity, precision, and nuance of this extravagant and personal experience is a sublime journey which is best traveled with friends, as any good intoxicant is. My hope is that this cap facilitates a warm and rewarding discussion between collectors of personal audio libraries, preferences, and memories, both old and new. While everyone's experience can vary, we all share a unique passion and a desire to experience. And that is worth both cherishing and sharing together. So that's kind of like the idea behind the cap.
Chewy, you muted yourself.
You're muted, bro.
No, I was saying beautiful. Sorry,
Oh.
I muted myself because I didn't want to interrupt because that was beautiful. And
Yeah, so that's
I was looking for a clap emote because that was great. That was fantastic. So
yeah, that's the idea behind things. Once again, I also hate naming things. Like I really fucking hate my username, but it's so ingrained now that I can't abandon it. It's not even anywhere. Yeah,
Tyler Durden's.
yeah.
What was the thought process behind that? Where'd that come from initially?
It's the portmanteau on DevTTY and Tyler Durden's, and it has nothing to do.
You mind restarting? It cut from me. I don't know if.
Yeah, it cut for me as well.
Okay, can you restart?
Yeah,
it's Tyler Durden. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like a portmanteau, I suppose, on DevTTY, which is like a Unix specific thing on an old carried forward portion of like teletype terminals into basically Unix terminals. A mashup of that and like Tyler Durden. That was it because I panicked and I needed like an internet handle. That was it. I hate it. I actually hate it.
You could always change it, you know. It's not set forever.
Sure.
You can always rebrand yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even my name, like at all. Not even close to my name.
I mean, for a while, that's what I thought. I was like, man, what are the odds that someone's name's Tyler Durden?
Absolutely zero.
And then I was like, wait, no, its name's not even Tyler.
No, not even close. It's way too many letters. Yeah.
So, other than that, yeah, I mean, do you have a time frame? Can we expect some high on fi?
So getting shit shipped sucks right now. I am out of silicone, resin. I need to get with Crash to do the character illustration for the auth cards and stickers. And then I need to send the stickers off to print, the auth cards off to print, get those back. So I don't know, like start of fall probably.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
When it happens.
Yeah, like production molds are ready. Everything is waiting on ephemeral stuff that you need, or that I feel like you need to send off to people. So
Absolutely.
What would you say what's one of the more rewarding experiences of being an artisan maker?
Dexter's, I use Sticker Mule for sticker prints. They're amazing. The most rewarding part of being an artisan, and I'm sure you guys will probably this, is the same as being a whatever level figure in the community. It's just the people that you meet and the opportunities you have to work with other people because of that, right? I wouldn't call it a privilege, but it's definitely a level of ease of access to working with other people on projects, and that is just impressively insane. Like I know we talked about it very briefly on Quarantine on Deck, but the speed that the community iterates through things that the community needs because people have that skill set is nuts. Like the key set render tool and the stem shaver and colored stabs because accessorize and like just anything under the sun. The community, like it genuinely feels like nothing's off limits. we're just waiting for an IC. That's it. Like,
Yep.
and that's insane. The amount of talent and skill and drive and potential that the community harbors just because it can. Like, that's insane. I mean, the opportunity to work with people that are that driven and gifted, like that's the shit that gets me up in the morning.
Yeah, because it's like we've seen different products where it's like they start off with a new idea, and maybe the product's not even amazing, right? Like maybe it doesn't do as great or doesn't achieve the goal, but what that does is then sparks, all these other people to be like, well, what if we took their idea and we made these adjustments and turned it into this? I think it's just crazy how that works and how people will reiterate on things and change things around. I always like to point at like the gasket mount boards with like the meme, which you talk to the people who designed the meme and put it together. They're like, this board was awful. But
Yeah.
what happened was then it turned into making gaskets to where we have all these different types of how gaskets are done, different materials. Everyone has their own way of isolating the board. And that really kind of brought it on the mainstream. So yeah, it's crazy how things kind of, once the ball gets rolling, it really starts going downhill. Not downhill, but like
Yeah.
in a sense.
Well, isn't that fascinating? Like how trends often start is that somebody like takes a stab at it and just royally fucks it. Like somebody tries it, it's just like a terrible offshoot, and then somebody else is like, sure, but what if we did it this way? And then like because somebody else did it, somebody else sees that it's like pseudo legitimized, and then like people start doing it, right? And before you know it, it's a trend. And pretty cool. It's pretty fascinating. Yeah. The Keep community is just a fast-paced microcosm of like that kind of thing.
And it's fun being like, it's like a mini competition, right? Coming up with the next, like for artisans, coming up with the next big sculpt that everyone talks about, and coming up with a fun, like a fun colorway or a fun unique design, and like board makers coming up with the next mounting system, or how the plate's designed, or just some sort of design, all the way to like content creators. We're constantly battling to do something slightly different and do something, be the first ones to do something this way versus that way, and just do something fun. And it's been, it's crazy because in giving all that, that makes it sound like it's a big competition where everyone hates each other, but it's never been that way. It's the exact opposite. It's usually like, hey, I've got this idea, let's go over it, like help me do this, or help me design this, or help me create this, or whatever. And it's just crazy to me that people will spend so much time. That's why I get a lot of messages that will say like, so I don't want to waste your time, and I'm like, one, it's quarantine, you're absolutely not wasting my time right now.
Yeah.
But two, even if it wasn't, I'm like, I'm going to give you the exact same amount of time that other people gave me, because neither of us, all three of us, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for someone else giving us a bunch of time, that just of helping take us to where we are. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's something where like I feel like in the community you have people that are just I've never felt like anyone's trying to compete for, which is interesting, right? Followers or content or stepping on people's toes or like combating each other for the most part anyway. Like people are genuinely just doing things in the community because they like it, and that's what takes off, and people are hungry for that content, for that variation, for that product, for that whatever that is. They just enjoy consuming the hobby, and people genuinely enjoy making things for the hobby, which is why you have like streamers making sure that like particularly in this subset, making sure they raid other similar streamers and like cross promote like at the end of streams, and when they try and work together on like event collabs and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's no harbored ill will about people being, for the most part, worry that someone's going to cut in on their percentage of pie. It's just people, being like, all right, well, what I've got to say is done. Make sure we're going to go follow, watch this person. And then like, boom, we like jump into the next person. And like, especially in quarantine times, you could spend a whole day like just Twitch stream reading like Reddit ICs, whatever, of people being like, okay, well, that's my time on this soapbox. Please give a warm welcome for like.
Yeah, it's one of those things I feel like with not just content creations, but really everything, there's, even if there is competition or, you're talking about being competitive with things, there's still an intense amount of respect for the other people that are doing, making key sets, vendors, other content creators. Like I hang out and talk with Brian from Top Clack, like every single day. And, we talk to other creators all the time, and it's never an issue with like, we're never like, man, we got to take them down. Like there's never the thought process of we got to take someone down. And I know,
and we already did.
I mean, yeah, we did win
on the key quiz.
but it's one of those things too, even with like vendors. Like I think I was having a conversation with some people last night, and we were talking about how the fact that some vendors have the face to it, right? And I think that really helps this community. It makes it really unique. We've got, especially as this community grows, the fact that we have all of these vendors, all of these artisans that are built on people who love the community first and are not just in it just to profit. They're not just here for money. They're not here to try to scam people.
Sure.
It makes it so much different than a lot of his other hobbies. So like, even if it goes more commercialized, we still have that to fall on of like, well, we're supporting people who started here. They grew with the community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the unique part about this community, just like you said, is that people love it first and then become some sort of something secondary, right? Like, so people, I don't think that I've heard, like, out of your fast forward questions, the like, what got you into whatever, every time I've heard that asked, no matter where it was and who it was, I don't think I've ever heard somebody say, like, I always knew when I grew up I wanted design keyboards, right? Like, it's like I found the subreddit or I did whatever. Like, I loved keyboards and then X. And I think like that birth or love of the community and the potential that this community brings first is what really instills a bedrock of respect and reverence for helping each other, because all people care about, like, I've never been where somebody like shits on somebody else. It's just like, okay, well, my piece is done, we're gonna go like X, right? And like everybody everybody like advocates for each other and references each other, and is genuine like 99% of the time, just like this is my piece, now please check out this person who also has an interesting piece to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating. Like, this community has definitely reinstilled my faith in like the internet and humanity. And like, I think about the random people, about you, how much you interact, like mech market trades sale post wise, but like that could be a potentially incredibly sketchy interaction to have. And like, personally, like, knock on wood, I haven't been yet. Like,
I mean, the entire group buy model, if you told it to a random person, sounds like a scam. Like,
yeah.
like if someone, like if you think about, you talk about like key cult money, like, oh yeah, you're going to pay this person $600 on their website through their payment provider, and you're not going to get it for 3 months or maybe even longer.
Because what you're buying doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What you're buying is just a couple lines on the monitor.
Most people be like, that's a scam.
We
don't
do
do
have
that.
the product yet. We just have rendered pictures of
We
the
just
product.
have the idea and someone saying it should work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
More often
But,
than
like,
not, it happens.
Yeah. Then you ask people in the community and they're like, I don't give a shit. I'll just call my credit card company. like
Yeah.
there's such confidence in people just being like, I'll buy into it, and if I don't get, then fuck them, I'll like charge back. Like it's an interesting. It's one of those things where like outside looking in, you definitely see people's perspectives and opinions that are like Reddit, Discord, whatever. I'm new commenting, and then you get the that have been through the ringer, and they're like, this really isn't weird or a big deal. Just like you said, like it's a very interesting been in it versus new to it dynamic.
So I love what Visionaire said. I told my wife, I won. It's like I won the right. I won the ability to pay somebody.
Yeah, I remember explaining to my wife when I first got into Artisan, like I think it was winning a monochrome back when it was the Raiju and not the Raiji sculpt. I remember pulling over on the road home to enter the sale raffle, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, I've got 8 minutes. Like I've got to fill this out. Like, and like explaining to her this concept of like I'm trying to win. She's like, "What are you winning?" I was like, "Well, I'll get an invoice." She's like, "What do you mean you'll get an invoice? That doesn't sound like winning." Like, no, it's winning. Like I did it.
That's great. So, I think it might be getting to be about that time where we start dropping marbles.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
me.
let's do it.
I'll go ahead and get it all open. Take me just a second to get everything open through Steam. But
Craft beer limited by, yeah, that makes sense.
craft beer limit. It's we are in such a weird like community.
So strange.
It's so weird when you think about it. Like most of the time, like I remember when I was first introduced to what drop was through audio stuff, and it was like, oh, this is this website where people group together in order to just get things that would normally be at a certain price down at a lower price, and that was for the longest time my thought process of the group buy model. And then when I got into keyboards, it's like kind of the same, but really more different. Of like, we have to do this so the things get made because they won't if we don't.
Yeah, like it's weird to like step yourself outside of the community and really take on a true outsider perspective of people who like all they care about is like they bought a laptop
Yeah.
most of the time, right? They don't care about the keyboard that it came with, or they bought whatever they buy at the big box store, and who fucking cares because they've got an i4 with 8 gigs of RAM or whatever. Like this is a pure like a pretty like nichely bespoke down the rabbit hole
Yeah. Oh, very much.
community, and you kind of like ease your way into that level of depth where you're like fucking $800 on this. What a steal. Like
I mean, Visionaire just nailed why the Baka 60 was a thing. It was like, I want this, but I don't want to spend 5 times what it would cost to make if I made 20 of them.
yeah.
As a group buy. I was just thinking about this today, and this is just something this board looks simple enough. It's like, oh, those keycaps are nice. I'm like, well, actually, these keycaps came from 3 separate group buys, all done like 6 months. Like it took me a year and a half to obtain the group buys for all 3 of the caps that are displayed on here. And I almost just dropped it on my desk.
I feel the same way about like the lunar I built. Like I had to buy a lunar. I had to get Alp switches somewhere. I had to get like these AEK switches or caps. Then I had to get the JP alphas. Then I had to get the different right shift for it, but I didn't like the spacebar that I got with the original kit. So like I had to buy another board to like part that out. And like, yeah, if you ask anybody else, they're like, you are fucking insane.
Yep. Absolutely. So you had some blanks that you also wanted to throw into the party.
Yeah, I've got a pack of 420 blanks as well that we can run this with, or we can do them 1-1-1, whatever you guys want to do. I'm cool with whatever you guys vote for.
What are you feeling, Osiris?
I mean, I'm down to do a couple marble races. We could do.
Maybe we do the first one. We do the 420 blanks.
Yeah. So maybe we do 3. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to like.
So we'll do. So what we're gonna do, guys? We're gonna do the 420 artisans. We'll do that, and that'll be the top 3 marbles to finish, or the first 3. The second will be we're gonna be giving away these in pairs. So the top 2, and then the mechs on deck one will be given away to we'll do one more artisan. We'll do one more marbles for that one. So like I said, guys, if you live in the continental United States, I will probably get these out tomorrow, and it will be completely free. If you live outside of the United States, we will ask you to cover everything above like $9 US that it will take to ship, but I will also be holding on to them because I don't want to ship anything really right now international, as these are all irreplaceable items.
Let me shift over to the marbles scene. That works there. Come on, marbles. Pull up. There we go. All right. So we've got an abundance of maps that we can choose from. Which one do we want first?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys run it.
Chewy, any of these speak to you?
Is our stream frozen?
Hmm?
No, never mind. The stream was frozen on my end. Ooh, let's see. Well, we're doing 420, so Mountain Mingle.
Mountain Mingle?
Mountain Mingle.
Let's do this. All right, chat. Exclamation point play to join. This one looks interesting.
It's got
It's got high heat factor. I like it.
Does.
It's quite a few
Yeah,
people
420
joining. I said that, yeah, a nice colorway, kind of, minus the red, but got a little green in there.
Yeah,
it's got the crystals, bro.
The crystals.
Man, so many trichromes. Bad.
Oh man,
we need to do more work together. This is fun.
This is fun.
We do.
Listen,
Listen, all right. I will happily work with you anytime. Just keep the bears coming.
Yeah,
keep the bears.
Yeah,
just feed me. Kidding.
Chewy, we'll work for bears.
I would like to see a Winnie the Pooh bear. That would be a cool. If there's a way to do that, that would be a cool like.
That is such a good movie. By the way, if you guys haven't watched the new
Christopher Robin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's Ewan McGregor, so I mean, come
on. Man.
Stale Dale with the big plays.
It's all right.
Winnie the Pooh quotes are the best.
I haven't seen the new one. That's the one with Tom Hanks in it, right?
No, you're thinking of Here Comes In the Neighborhood or whatever.
Oh, it's
he plays that one.
He plays Walt Disney, right?
No, this might be the Knob Creek talking, but the last movie I teared up to, people were just like,
it cut out on the movie.
Mr. Rogers. He plays Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, that's what it is.
Is the one. Ewan McGregor is like Christopher Robin grown up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. We're like the in the movie. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert or not, but if you haven't watched it, point Jesus Christ, you've had a minute. Like where like big Christopher Robin is debating whether he wants to follow like Winnie the Pooh back into the tree or not. It's just like, no.
Saving Mr. Banks. That's the one where he
Oh,
plays Walt Disney.
So let's
Exclamation
we'll
point
do-
J exclamation point play to join.
So let's see. Looks like we got how many are in 44?
44.
44. So that's some good chances. 3 out of 44.
That's pretty good.
Not the worst.
Who knows? Maybe we'll only get 3 people that finish the race.
Exactly. So anyway, like I said, we said top 3. Anyone can win. Osiris and I, and will not win one. I've won. I got the RNG on the actual raffle, so I'm happy. I'm really excited for those purple ears. Those look so good.
Yeah, you got a fat pack that should arrive tomorrow.
Let's hope.
I think in Texas,
USPS.
it's 4 o'clock is when USPS comes around your place.
Yeah, I'm gonna go wait there because long story short, I've got a package that they said they delivered to me.
So you got a box in that truck, or what's up?
I was like,
Damn,
hey man, I'm
what's
just
with all
gonna
these
go up and just
books?
open it up and be like, I'm gonna start digging. All right. There's gonna be a box that's like this big, and I'm gonna be like, it's a keyboard. Yes, it does weigh 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Get off me.
Give it to me.
So anyway,
All right,
let's
let's run
get
this.
that countdown going. I'm excited.
Let's see. All right, I'll try not to make everyone sick. I don't remember. What is it? 1?
You hit 1.
I'm gonna wait
Just,
for
but
a
you
second.
can just give it a sec for
This is interesting. Okay. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, this is interesting. It goes
Okay.
down and then back up and then back through.
Oh.
Ooh.
A carrot skin, a dedication like no one else.
8. Well.
Oh, okay. There's a
Starstone's in the lead.
Starstone, there it is.
Ooh, going through some keys there. Looks like. Oh.
I see so many people that do like exclamation point something. Does that actually boost you in the game?
I don't know.
Do something?
I don't know.
Like I see
There might
attack,
be
I see boost.
I think boost might do something. It's having a hard time figuring out who's actually in first.
Me too.
Let's see, where are we at? Oh, he's definitely in first. Yeah, right.
Artisan. The wine eye close behind.
This is interesting. Got lots of loop-de-loops here. Spinning around.
Kinnick, for whatever reason, with a purple name. This is just top quality content. It's like, what did you do? I just watched marbles go down.
Man, I remember when you guys were like leading up to the like, quarantine on deck thing, and I saw Osiris was just like playing marbles for like an hour before the stream. Like, I hope they're just like side betting marbles for like an hour before this.
You know, I had to test it out. I had to make sure it worked.
Oh.
You got some
Duck.
some shakeups in the front. I think Brez just took a tumble.
Boost.
Oh,
these Mario Kart boosts.
Wait, Stash already finished.
Wins. Stash wins the first one.
Where have we been?
Boom. Let's see, where's 2 at? Oh.
Lazio Ultra and Stale Dale.
Stale Dale coming in third.
Dale.
Oh. Playing Rain ended up in 5th. Oh man. Quite a few people died there.
All right.
Ooh, unfortunate.
Stale Dale.
Abracadaniel died. Hard rep.
Man.
Well, those are our first 3 winners. Let me write this down really quick.
Rip those who died. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you guys won, join our Discord. Hit us up. CYO is going to be the one that you're going to contact for those three.
Yeah, I dropped my handle in chat.
Nice. Yeah, I know two of them, Lazio Ultra. Make sure to hit up CYO. If not, join our Discord. Hit me up, and I will point you in the right direction as well. So,
all right.
He's burping the kitten. So, in the in the essence of fairness, we will only allow one winner or one person to win once. So these next two, let me show them off very quick. Are come on. We're having a rough time with the focus here. Sorry.
A little close for
There
it.
we go. So these are the Castle Crashers. You're going to win a set of these. So it's these two caps you'd win. We've got two different sets of them.
Which one do you want to do? I'm feeling the Dojo 2.
You absolutely can still enter for the hype. And Dojo 2 I'm down with. You can absolutely enter for the hype. We will just pass over the name.
We should like do the high on 5-man raffles, only marbles on the street. Just like make it like
just do streams just for that. This is the new way to do
that
raffles.
Would be a good way to do a launch party.
Like in the last 15 minutes of every stream, like that's the only way you can
get up
these caps. That's it.
We've already decided that for our 24-hour stream, every giveaway will be done through marbles.
It's so much fun.
And we've got a lot of giveaways. So, quick announcement. We've got stuff confirmed. We haven't confirmed every single item yet, but we've got stuff confirmed from Canon Keys. We've got stuff confirmed with Project Keyboards. I'm not allowed to say what we have been given for Dixie, as well as the C.Y.O Caps and not GMK, but Infinity Grind. So
little grind.
Little grind for the 24 hours. You do exclamation point 24 if you want to know more, learn about the timing. It is May 9th. We'll be stick around for our Monday shows because we'll be heavily updating those.
All right, again, exclamation point play to enter to win some Castle Crashers Bear and Claw packs. Yourself an ambassador with a claw blank. One of my favorites of the ones we had. It's a cool little colorway. It's a cool little colorway.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. From now on, I just won't sell these. I'll just make a bunch of caps and send them to you guys. And the only way you can get them is like you win them in marbles. That's it.
That's it. It's over.
That's it.
It's just like instead of doing Vickery auctions, people just do marble
auctions.
Auctions.
Yeah, just the most hands-off art possible. Disco Crocodile, I see you in chat. If you get your dad to spin vinyl on stream, I will do a custom colorway for you guys. I need a chill vinyl.
So let's see, we got 44. That's about how much we had last time. So we're gonna go ahead and start it. You got 10 seconds for exclamation point play. You want to be entered. Here we go.
All right, the Dojo. This one might have some casualties on it. I think we did this one for Quarantined on Deck. Where are we at? Oh.
Yeah, people like come down the roof, right? And then get like yeeted immediately after getting pipes.
Yeah, that's right. It's like right here. We'll get yeeted after this, I think.
Yeah. Yep. There was like this initial jump at the
This one's interesting. Oh yeah, here's the yeet.
There it is.
Oh, no!
Cool Cows game. Our
See ya.
first
all
our
the yeets.
first and second, Alansky, Kinnick, Sodi. I'm sorry. Although the more Kinnick wins, the more people don't like him.
It was funny when we
Kinnick,
first started.
When we first started, he must have won like, God, I think two. I think it was 2 out of the first 3 giveaways we did. He won.
Oh,
Oof.
Ooh, Staledale knocked out.
way down here. Archin's coming in hot again. It's Langlandia.
Oh, Langlandia! He's going for gold.
He's got the lead by a considerable margin. But Disco Crocodile's coming in hot. Who knows? Oh!
He can still catch up. He's got time.
Disco Crocodile is now in the lead. He made it through the gauntlet of the rotating things.
Oh, but he got stopped.
He got slowed.
He got stopped.
He got slowed, and Langlandia's coming back. Oh, Jinly Bean took a tumble, and Langlandia wins.
Langlandia and Disco Crocodile.
Rigged. I don't know if I believe
5th.
these results.
Oh, man.
Oh. Sorry, man. That was actually very, very enjoyable. Grindbox placing at 5th.
Man.
There it is. Well done. All right. So who's it? Disco Crocodile. He messaged us on Instagram. But ping me on Discord. And I'll get this stuff out tomorrow.
So just waiting for everyone to finish here. Go. So it's Langlandia and Disco Crocodile. Congratulations for winning Castle Crasher.
There it is. And the last one for tonight, which you've seen before. Did I go one of these days I'll get it right. The Mechs on Deck colorway Ambassador. This is a 1 of 8. You'll get the card too. As well. I don't have the cards on the other ones, but you'll get the card on this one. So make sure to definitely enter this one if you want. Like I said, we only have 1 to give away right now. So only 1 winner. We should pick a long one.
Should pick a long one. Okay, let's see here. Got some. The Space Station and Haunted Hills are both 4 minutes. Let's see here. Marble Centauri 2 is 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Devil's Chaos 2 is just about 4 minutes. That one sounds interesting. Chat, you can also vote for the map by using !vote and then a number. And you have to put which number map you'd like. Like we've got Rusty Remnant has 1 vote. That one's map 28. Let's see here. I like Rusty Remnant because I like the name.
Donate $50 to win. Yep, that's it. That's the hack right there. Nailed it.
Please show for us more.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Chewy? I selected the last one.
Let's see. I selected the first one, so Mr. C.Y.O.
It's y'all's boat. You choose where we're going.
I think we need to go with Frozen 2 because it's got 4 votes.
There it is.
It's the only one that's got more than 1 vote, so we'll go Frozen 2. Ooh.
Starting off. All right, so ! play to enter. and they are adjoining.
This is only one person will win. This is the last remaining bear from the mechs on deck.
Not technically the last one.
Well, that's available.
Yes, that is available. We have now that I know that it's like a mask, I have so much more of an appreciation for these.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys want the next colorway to be? Play that game.
Ooh.
Grain.
Okay.
Green colorway, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll work on matching it this week.
So Lang.
What are some
Yeah,
older stuff?
I really wanted to do like I mean, like I said, I like working with people, so I think that like some way we could.
You could do grain and get it close enough with camping that like it could kind of work for both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the older sets too, Osiris, but I don't.
I mean, what if we did like a marbles raffle grain where like you have to be in chat and like it's not an RNG the raffle, it's a marbles win the raffle spot for grain caps.
That'd be cool.
You know what would also be cool is considering the times and they're having the Michael Jordan shows on ESPN. I can't remember the name of it. But
The Last Dance.
Yeah, The Last Dance doing like a Chicago colorway. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. I'm all for like working with people. That's the shit that I thrive off of. I don't make caps because I like making caps. I like it because it's a vehicle for doing fun stuff with other people. So
I also want to do a marble colorway of something marble to give away on marbles. We got marbles on marbles.
I have so much marble potential resin. We should get offline and talk about that. I can send you a like a fat fucking thing of like marble container caps that we could get this money with.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's see how many we have. We got 48 in, so we'll give it another 30 seconds. Said one more. The people who needed have PM'd me. So this one, like I said, if you win this and you are international, I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit to avoid losing something or having something slowed down. That's irreplaceable, but we'll make sure it gets out to you. And then international is going to have to pay anything above $9 in shipping. So
awesome. Let's go ahead and get this started. Timer. 10 seconds left. Exclamation point play to be entered to win. Let's see. Frozen 2. It looks interesting so far.
It's got the grain colorway going. Like,
yeah, it's good. Every time I see like the grain with the Lego Land Rover, I'm like, man, that is good.
Yeah. In light of the ETF re-raffle, is it okay to enter and also have friends enter for you and then let you transfer their invoice, assuming you only win one? Are you asking, like, do you think it's okay to have your friends enter for you? And see, there's a tricky situation to that. Because what if both of you win?
Yeah.
Like what you're asking is it okay if I find some way to circumvent the rules?
Yeah.
And like increase my odds of getting a cap? And like, could you do that because that's somebody else paying the raffle? Sure, but is that in the spirit of the point of things? No. So,
it's a gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah, like is it okay for me to have like 4 of my friends all enter and then me just pay them? It's gray area.
Yeah, because
is it possible? Yes, but
the issue I see with it is if you wind up if you wind up winning and then your friend wins as well, what if your friend doesn't want to? Then you're going to be potentially, or you're going to lose either luck or you're going to get banned from ever being able to enter again because you were doing something for someone else. And so it gets very tricky very fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like you're taking spots away kind of things,
Yeah.
right?
Like you're increasing your chances, but you're reducing everyone else's chances.
Yeah. I mean, my answer is like, that's shitty unless it's monochrome, and then send me your invoice. I'm kidding. Don't do that, but you can.
Let's see how many bears Chewy can win. Oh, Abracadaniel in first place.
I don't know how
Cheapest
well
shipping out there.
it's understanding who's in first.
No, it's not. But
It seems like it keeps going back. I don't quite know.
I have no idea what's happening. I just know at some point someone's gonna win, and it's gonna be someone that was not even on the top 10. I'm just gonna like wind up in first place.
First place keeps changing. There's two paths. Oh,
It's just a great mystery until the DMs play out. Like, who knows, right?
this one looks like, okay, this is near the end. This has got to be near the end.
It is.
Let's see if he gets. Oh, no.
Oh,
He's going to win.
baby,
He's going to win.
baby. He's still gotta go. There
It
is.
is.
This is locked up. Yeah.
A carrot skin.
Nice.
A carrot skin, congratulations. So a carrot skin, PM me on Discord. PM Chewy on Discord, and I will get your information and get this stuff shipped out. For anyone curious or like worried, I have not shown any symptoms or signs of anything like that, nor has my wife. So like, don't. I will make sure to clean my hands, wash the packaging, and all that good stuff. But I will also not be the last person to touch it before it gets to you. So just exercise caution.
Well, scientifically, if you're concerned, the only thing that lasts more than a day and a half is stainless steel, as far as tests have confirmed. Everything else is 24 hours or less, which is you're not going to get the package in that amount of time.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, Mr. C.Y.O. Thank you very much for coming on, doing the giveaways as always. We have more C.Y.O caps to give away during the 24-hour stream. Mr. C.Y.O was very very helpful and sent us quite the amount of things to give away, so to spread out. So we've got more stuff coming from him. So if you missed out tonight, don't worry, there are more things to come later. But thanks for coming out, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. You guys are pros. I am never not impressed with your stream.
That's all him.
Every time.
That's all him.
Every time.
We appreciate
I just
it.
talk to
you
people.
guys don't know the level of not information that I sent them before quarantine on deck, and that shit was flawless. Like incredible.
We appreciate that. It was a lot of fun. That was one of the cooler streams that we've done. I liked the idea of having like a bunch of people on and just coming in and out and just always keeping it fresh and having new interactions. One of the cool things about that was having the different questions, the same question having significantly different answers between everyone. Also, dude, thank you so much for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
More people. I don't care what the number is, but more people should be into this shit on Monday, Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, or regularly Wednesdays. No, it's Monday, Tuesday, regularly Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central.
Whatever that number is,
easy to
it's not enough.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Much appreciate it. So, and it looks like everybody has messaged me on my end. I will make sure to those who won, Stas, Lazio, Ultra, and Staledale, we'll make sure to get your stuff to C.Y.O so you can get your caps as soon as possible. So, and then quick shout out to our sponsors: Dixie Mech, Project Keyboards, Zap Cables, excuse me, Tight Beast, Canon Keys, SwitchMod.net, as well as go pick up a Rukia if you are looking for a new board and you are spending wisely, we wisely suggest that you go get a Rukia. You do not need to message me. You can just message Staledale. I'm going to send the list to C.Y.O. So, but thank you guys. If you haven't checked out his Instagram, he does drops all the time. So be sure to check out his Instagram as well. And who are we going to raid?
Let's see. We've
We've got options tonight.
There's a couple people streaming. Both Apiary and Mentorly are on. What's you're seeing?
I am me where you was on. Maybe he hopped off. All right, so we've got. Hold on here. We're gonna do a poll. New poll.
Do an Apiary or Mentorly?
Yep.
Apiary's doing something with popsicle sticks, which I'm interested in. What's going on there?
All right. There is the poll. Go ahead and start voting. See who we are going to raid. So Mentorly is actually going to be joining us next Wednesday. So if you guys want to hear more about her, and she was one of our first like 6 or 7 interviews. So you guys want to check her out next week. We've got our normal show Monday with more 24-hour stream announcements. I will be building. We've got the 3rd Baka in a row.
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah. It'll probably be the last Baka for a while, but it's the way things lined up. It was just funny that we're building a lot of Bakas.
How many of the 20 Bakas have been built on Max on Deck stream? I think it's like 5 or 6.
5. So a quarter.
Yeah, 5. Quarter of the
5.
Bakas. It's interesting.
So yeah, that will be. It's actually Olivia's Baka. So it's this good Lord, we need people to vote because it's
even.
50-50 right
it's
now.
50-50.
So we've got a very cool rose gold Baka 60. So
is there any support that you guys need for that 24? What can I or people do or send you to hype that shit up?
Spread the word. We'll figure something. We could do well, oh man, I wish we could do like a custom colorway for the 24-hour stream.
It's in like 2 weeks.
If you have enough stuff
to do.
Hell, I'm down.
We'll talk. We'll talk in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
We'll talk in a minute.
Again, our 24-hour stream, May 9th, it's going to be a lot of fun. If y'all could all make it out and hang out with us, even if it's for a couple hours or the whole time, if you want to be a trooper and hang out for the whole time, we definitely would appreciate that. But yeah, lots of giveaways.
I will send you a handwritten letter if you're there for the whole time that just says thank you. And I was up for 24 hours straight, and all I got was this fucking letter.
I want that letter. I know 10 Strong was asking if there was going to be a special role in the Discord. I think we might have to do that. A role for the survivors, the full-time watchers.
Meant for dog stream, gasp for cat stream. That's tough. We got someone to vote. It's 7-7 right now. If you haven't voted, oh shit. Someone vote.
Yeah, I mean,
there it is.
If you guys are down, I'm down to do sale hosting from now on. I'm only in the Cap City people. I don't have someone else to work with. I'll fade out. So.
Big news coming up soon. Anyway, thank you, Mr. CYO.
Man. Thank you guys.
You guys stay safe, stay home. We're going to raid Miss Mentorly while I sit here and think of a funny thing to say to her. What are we going to say to her this time?
I don't know.
Doesn't she hate
Oh,
tactiles?
Doesn't she what?
Doesn't she like hate some sort of tactile?
I have no idea.
I think she does. She's all about clickies. She likes box navies with like super heavy springs and heavy click bars.
Yeah.
Such a weird, such a very interesting and different. Give your doggo a treat.
Give your doggo a treat. She does like the little, if you don't not or it's the channel
points for dog treats.
Channel points for dog treats. So please spam that in our chat. Thank you very, very much, guys, for joining us. And y'all have a good night. Bye, Switch Tester.
I know.